Good morning, YouTube. Today's video is going to be about my practical training. Now, 2 weeks ago, I passed my theory test first time. So after that, I rang Benshore Training and told them the good news about it. They then booked me in for a medical. That was last week, and today is day 1 of 5 for my practical training sessions. So last week when I went for my medical, that was at the medical was at Benchore Training as well. So they have their own in-house doctor to do all their medicals. So did the medical, and after that they gave me a little pack for my first day. So basically, I got my itinerary of what's going to happen over the 5 days right here, and with that itinerary they gave me this little booklet thing, all about the initial qualification. It basically, I've had a quick read through it. They told me to basically revise this for my first day, and all it is telling me what's going to happen on the first day. Apparently, it's all about the initial qualification for the CPC. There's all these kind of questions in here. Apparently, they're going to ask. Apparently, going to test me on these. All about, you know, loading the vehicle safely, doing the safety checks, the walk around checks, and the cockpit drill. Um, how to drive safely and checking the fuel and all that kind of, basically how to use the vehicle. I think it is how to find packages in the vehicle, making sure you don't let any immigrants through, stuff like that. Anyway, basically I've been reading all that, and apparently my first session is with Will, so I'll meet him today. What time are we on? It's 7 o'clock. So my first, I'll have to be there for 8 o'clock. It says here 8 till 4 all day with Will. So we'll see what's gonna happen with that. Oh, I've got to take me theory test, pass certificate, and my driving license as well. So yeah, all day today with Will. We'll see what happens. What the CPC involves. So I'll report back. Hopefully by the end of the day. Okay, guys. See you in a bit. Good evening and welcome back. So yeah, just come back from the first day of training. Um, didn't do much driving, just an hour at the end. Today apparently was all about the CPC. So basically, we just kind of went through this booklet. Um, so we basically went through the booklet. Then we just had to basically show our knowledge of how to kind of go through vehicle checks and stuff like that, and how to load. How to secure the load, how to distribute the load, and stuff like that, basically. So there were like questions on how to use chains to strap down a steel load, how to use tension bars to secure kind of like cages. Then we kind of went through questions like um, how to kind of check for suspicious packages, if you're at docks and stuff like that. So like customs stuff. So making sure no immigrants or any illegal substances cross borders and stuff. There was stuff like how to do the cockpit drills and the walk around checks. So yeah, we just basically went through this booklet, um, and kind of worked our way through all the kind of questions in here, and then there was a bit of an assessment at the end of it. So this booklet, going through this booklet, and it took us all morning basically. I think we went through it about 3 or 4 times just to make sure kind of we know what we were doing or saying, and how to kind of operate the kind of the operate stuff in the vehicle, and that we're doing it properly. So yeah, that was all morning. Then we had lunch, and straight after lunch we had the CPC assessment. Um, that was kind of easy. It's nothing to worry about there. Passed it. So it only took like, I think it was about 15 minutes, probably up to half an hour. I think you get. So yeah, it didn't take more than 15 minutes, I think. So that was simple enough. So after the CPC assessment, there was about 2 hours left to the end of the day. So Will, our instructor, took us out on the road. So he drove the vehicle to an industrial estate and parked up, and then we switched um, positions. So I got to drive the class two for about an hour or so, and just to get like a feel for the size of the vehicle and stuff. They said I was going to be driving the class two all day tomorrow, and doing nothing else. So yeah, drove for about an hour. Um, I struggled with the brakes actually. Um, to come to think of it, the brakes were, I don't know if it's me not knowing how to brake, or if it was just the vehicle, but like in cars, when you press the brake, you press it gently, right, at the beginning, and depending on how kind of, if the hazard that's wanting you to brake is kind of like far away, you press it gently, and hopefully you come to a rolling stop, or a gentle stop, shall we say. But applying that same logic to the class two, I was braking gently at the beginning, and I was getting no response from the brakes. And then it was kind of like reaching a threshold, and the brakes would kick in, but instead of kicking in gently, they would kick in suddenly, and they was jerking me forward basically, or braking, and I couldn't get. It was like the clutch. It's like a clutch in a manual. You have to find that bite, and then the kind of clutch operates. It's kind of like the reverse for the brakes. You find that kind of bit at the beginning where the brakes weren't doing anything, and then the brakes decided, yeah, we're going to kick in now. But instead of kicking in gently, they kick in all at once, like 100% brakes. So I was like jerking forward all the time, jerking forward every time I braked. And I couldn't get used to it. I kept on apologising to Will. He probably thought I didn't know how to bloody brake. So yeah, that might take getting used to tomorrow. Um, Apart from that, the size of the vehicle, um, it didn't. I don't know. From the outside, it looks huge, but when you're sat in the cab, in the driver position, or in the driver's seat, looking in the mirrors on both sides, you can't really get a sense of how long the vehicle is. Um, so it's a bit weird. From the outside, yeah, it looks a bit more scary, but when you're in the cab and driving, it just feels like driving a Mazda van. Because in the Mazda van, I know it's only a 3.5 ton, and it's like half the size of the class two, but even in the 3.5 ton van, I still can't get that perception of how long the vehicle is. It's the same in the class two. You still don't get that perception of how long the vehicle is. So yeah, the size of the vehicle whilst driving kind of didn't make make me kind of think this is a bigger vehicle. Um, the turning circle is a bit obviously a bit bigger. So yeah, it didn't seem too daunting basically driving the class two. Although I'm not happy about the braking system. We'll have to figure that out tomorrow. Um, so yeah, I think I'll leave it with that kind of thought. We'll leave things till tomorrow. See how tomorrow goes. Yeah, another early day tomorrow. Need to be there for 8 o'clock, and tomorrow is yeah, class two driving. So my test is actually in Kirkham, over towards Preston. Well, beyond Preston towards Blackpool, and I'll be driving the class two tomorrow all day in that area just to get a feel for the test routes and the roads and stuff. Will tells me it's a nice drive over there. There's no kind of low bridges that I need to think about. There's no kind of weight restrictions anywhere, so it should be an easy drive actually. Um, the other test centre that's close to me is Steeton, over towards where is it? Towards Keighley. Apparently, that is a lot harder um, test routes. There's more kind of height and weight restrictions about. Uh, but I was hoping actually to have my test at Steeton because the deliveries that I do are over towards that area. So I kind of know the roads in that area. I've never been to Kirkham before, so I don't know what the roads are going to be like. So yeah, I did want to do my test over at Steeton, but apparently I'm booked over at Kirkham. So yeah, fingers crossed for tomorrow. Should be a nice day out. So yeah, catch you guys tomorrow, and thanks for watching. Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back for another video. Today is day 2 of 5 of the HGV training sessions. Yesterday, we did the CPC with Will. That went well, and then at the end of that kind of test, we went out on the road in the class two. I spent about an hour on each hose. So I got an hour drive time, so that was good. Just to get us, kind of like a feel for the vehicle, basically. Um, so yeah. Oh, I couldn't figure out the brakes. Um, I was pressing the brakes, and sometimes I get no either 0% can response or I got 100% response. So it's like jerking all the time when I'm pressing brakes. So yeah, that I need to get used to that. It's not like braking in a car where you kind of fades in or fades out depending on how hard you press the brake. Um, I was pressing the brake at the beginning, like thinking like it was a car, but not getting any response. So I pressed it a bit harder, and it was like jerking forward. Then, um, so yeah, need to work on that today. So yeah, today's instructor is Paul. So not met Paul yet. So that'll be interesting. See what he's got to instruct me about. So yeah, it's what time is it now? It's 7:15. I need to be there for 8 o'clock. So I'll head off now and catch you guys at the end of today. Good evening and welcome back. So we've just done day 2 of the HGV training. Today I was with Paul and I was driving the Class 2 vehicle today. That's all we did. Um, so yeah, started the day at 8 o'clock. Drove over to Kirkham, and basically just I just drove all day basically. All everywhere in Kirkham. I don't even know where I went. Um, not been to Kirkham before, and not knowing the roads or anything. So everything was kind of new. Uh, Progress. Well, I think everything went fine. Um, Yesterday I was kind of worried about the braking situation. Um, it was kind of jerky braking the 1 hour session I had at the end of my CPC. Um, Will and not Will. Paul today tells me that the vehicle I was used yesterday um, tends not to go on the road much. It's mainly used just for the CPC kind of um, assessments and stuff. It's like their kind of oldest vehicle, and it's not really kind of doesn't really go on the roads. The vehicle I've got today is a class two, but it's a few years kind of updated. It's a newer vehicle anyway, and the braking in this vehicle is not as it's not that bad. So yeah, yesterday's braking fiasco was just about that vehicle. Anyway, today's vehicle is pretty good. Um, Braking was fine. There was none of that jerking that I got yesterday. So yeah, today, what did Paul tell me about today? What was the main thing? Oh, mirrors. Oh, that's all I got today. Mirrors, 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 and yeah, more mirrors. Use my mirrors more. Um, and what else was there? That's all I got from it. Mirrors. It was like mirrors, 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 more mirrors. Uh, yeah, coming to roundabouts. That's another thing. Apparently, I was going too fast. Um, I don't know if that's me just heavy-footed or him trying to slow things down for me. But yeah, apparently my approach to roundabouts is too fast, and I'm rushing the maneuvers. Um, so he was trying to say approach it slowly, go deep into the turn, and then turn which way you need to turn, um, so the back end doesn't kick out. So you've got to basically watch the back end. But yeah, I'm all kind of used to it because I'm driving as a vehicle. I'm already kind of aware of the back kicking out. I know it's not the same. Um, it's only a baby 3.5 ton vehicle, but it kind of has that same kind of maneuverability in a way. You still have that concept of looking in your mirrors to see where the back end is. So yeah, it was an okay day today actually. Um, Not too difficult. The roads were fine. There was hardly any traffic because everyone's in school and work. It wasn't work traffic. Uh, missed missed rush hour. Um, so yeah, it was a nice drive out. It was tiring though. That's another thing. My arm was bloody knackered. Um, there's a lot of steering involved, and even though it is power, well, it doesn't feel like power steering actually. Not like in the car. You've got to make big turning motions with your hands. Um, so yeah, it does take out of you uh, driving. So yeah, um, overall a good day I think. Kind of looking forward to driving the big Arctic now. Um, Although I'm a bit worried about the size of it. But yeah, we'll come to it. Tomorrow is what we're doing tomorrow. Tomorrow's schedule is, let's have a look. Modular 3A off road. So yeah, I think that is doing them reversing maneuvers in the Arctic. So I think we're doing reversing maneuvers and coupling and uncoupling. So that's tomorrow's job. We've been given some videos to watch on how to do the maneuvering, um, and how to do the coupling and uncoupling of the vehicle. So I'll be watching them tonight, just to get a kind of head start on what's expected for tomorrow. So yeah, yeah, I'll leave it at that then. See you guys tomorrow. Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back for another video. Today is day number 3 of 5 of my practical training in the HGV. So day 1 was CPC, initial assessment. Day 2 was a full day of driving the Class 2 vehicle. And today, day 3, is what we're doing today. Modular 3A, it says on the itinerary, off-road maneuvers. So yeah, Paul yesterday said that I will not be driving the HGV this morning. So we're in the Arctic today. I say in the Arctic, we're actually just doing the maneuvering stuff. So not on the road. So I'm with, yes, I'm back with Will today. From day 1. We're going to be doing all the kind of, I think it's the reversing maneuvers. So I've been researching a bit about that, how to do them. They've also given me some videos to have a look at. So yeah, reversing and coupling and uncoupling. So that'll be interesting. How to hook up them wires to the trailer apparently. So yeah. Yeah, I'll give you a catch up at the end of the day. Hello, welcome back. Today was the end of day 3. We did off-road maneuvers today, so it was reversing maneuvers and coupling and uncoupling the trailer. Now, where do we begin? Reversing. So basically, all we did to kind of like first hour of the session was reversing in a straight line. So Will, our trainer from day 1, was our trainer today as well. He maneuvered the trailer into the parking bay for the reversing bay, for our reversing maneuver. And he basically said to us, drive forward to the A cone, but on the other side. So in from the parking bay, move forward, stop towards the A1 cone, and then basically bring the trailer back in a straight line back into the parking bay. And we did that for an hour, but even doing that, we kind of like I struggled anyway, because even if you're holding the steering wheel firmly and you've got your wheel straight and you just reverse back without moving the steering wheel, the trailer still moved. Um, so yeah, that was a bit weird. Um, Even though you weren't putting any steering onto it, the trailer still moved. It was slight, it wasn't like massive turns, but then you kind of like you see the trailer move in your mirrors and you're trying to adjust for it. And I was making the mistake of trying to adjust for it as you would in a car, but then you got to think it's not driving like a car. You've got to drive, do opposite steering. So by the time I've done the steer and realized my mistake, I was trying to then catch up on it, and I was basically zigzagging across the tarmac into the bay, um, which will he said it was expected that you will be zigzagging, um, trying to figure out how the steering works. Anyway, did that for about a good hour, and we kind of got used to it at the end. Kind of got confident we're doing it faster, um, doing the maneuvers faster, keeping check on the steering. So after the hour, we then went on to um, doing slight angles, reversing um, with slight angles. So we would from the parking bay, you would pull up and do like put a slight angle on the trailer, and then reverse back. He showed us how to do it first, and then we did it ourselves, um, putting more and more angle on it each time as we got confident enough. Just had to kind of the way he kind of advised it was that when you're turning, you'll see more trailer on your driver's side. Now to get it to come straight, or to get it to come straight back, is to turn into the mirror that you see most of your trailer. That should straighten it up. So yeah, that kind of it worked for us. We That's the way we did it, and it kind of paid off. Um, we're getting better at it more and more as we practiced. So yeah, did that for actually quite a long time. We did that for about almost 2 hours, up to lunchtime. We just did that angle turning. Had lunch after that, and after lunch we did um, kind of like we went up to the acorns, and we did the, the steering to avoid the B cone. So Will parked the trailer up to the two acorns at the top, and he told us that we need to put um, two locks onto the right to get the trailer moving, then two locks to the left, and then to straighten it up, one lock to the right again. And that sequence of um, turns should get the trailer to avoid the B cone down halfway, and then set you up to kind of reverse. So he said basically, once you've done that kind of steering procedure, you should have already practiced. Um, Everything else was basically the same. So we've done the kind of angle turn, and then we did this, you know, reversing in a straight line. So that was basically, that's kind of like putting it all together, the three sections. So we practiced that till about, God, it was about half two, I think, and then he ran through, I think, about 3 or 4 times the full practical maneuver. Um, so he pulled up the trailer at the starting position. He showed us once what we were expected to do. So we stood outside. He drove up to the two acorns, did the steering maneuver, maneuvered around the B cone, and then reversed it into the parking bay. And then it was up to us. So we had to practice. I think we had three or four turns each, um, doing the maneuver. And he also said, very importantly, that you are allowed two shunts. So um, don't think taking a shunt is a bad thing. You're not going to get bogged down for it. They're there to help you if you need them. So when I did my kind of turn to kind of do the full maneuver, um, I was struggling with the locks. Actually, I couldn't figure it out. Even though he said two to the right, then two to the left, and then one to the right, I was still struggling because I was looking at mirrors and thinking this ain't the right way it's supposed to do it. But then he basically said, trust the system. This is how it's done. This is how you're gonna get around that B cone. Well, even once I got past that B cone, I was still kind of out of position because of the steering at the beginning. So I was finding it hard. I was going in either too sharp or catching it up too late. So the trailer was past what I needed to go to get into the bay. So I was having to take these shunts, and I wasn't good at shunting either. So I was moving forward and thinking, okay, I'll do it from here. But then the trailer wasn't in the right position to get it back, so I couldn't see either one or the other side of the bay. Um, so yeah, I had to practice shunting as well. How to practice going forward is ridiculous. Anyway, um, did that for a few times. I think I got confident at the end of it with the shunts. I don't think I could have done it without shunts. Um, so just said to Will, when we do the actual assessment, I'm definitely going to take shunts. I don't care, even if it's going straight in and it's going in perfectly. I'm going to take them shunts just to make my life easier. So yeah, the last half an hour I think we spent doing the coupling and uncoupling of the trailer. That was fairly straightforward. The only things I struggled with was getting the airlines on. Uh, yeah, they wouldn't, for some reason, they wouldn't go in. Anyway, um, coupling and uncoupling. Uncoupling was fairly easy. He just told us to follow or just remember black. So make sure the brakes for the trailer are on, um, get the legs up, uh, take off the airlines, and undo the clip, and then pull the kingpin, and then you're ready to uncouple. So we did the uncouple, and then we told to do the coupling, which is basically the reverse of black. So you get in the cab, reverse onto, reverse back into the kind of onto the trailer, and you would hear a big shudder kind of noise, and that's the kingpin going in. And to make sure it's gone in, you do two pulls forward just to make sure it's in. So once it's in, you've already done the kingpin, so that's the K done. Then you reattach the clip. Then you put back the airlines. This is where I struggled. Put the airlines back in. Then do the legs. Make sure the legs go up, and then release the parking brake. With the airlines, I don't know. Will didn't say there's apparently there's a technique to it, getting these airlines back in. You've got to kind of like match the ball bearings in these airlines, pull the collar back, and then kind of twist it on. But because there's force in the airlines, it's hard to get it on. So I was kind of like trying to force it in, and it wouldn't go in. And anyway, I struggled with the airlines. I couldn't get it in. You probably didn't want to hear that. Can't get it in. Anyway, I struggled with it, but managed to get the airlines on. We practiced that 3 or 4 times. That seemed kind of easy compared to the reversing maneuvers. So yeah, at the assessment time, I think everything went well. I went first, and the reversing maneuver went fine. Uh, did the two to the right, two to the left, and then one to the right. Got around the B cone, didn't hit it. That was good. Had a weird angle going back into the reversing bay, but kind of went as back as far as I felt comfortable. And then I thought, yeah, this is definitely going to need a shunt. So I took a shunt, and it wasn't the greatest shunt. It was a shit shunt basically. So I took the shunt, tried to reverse it again. I thought, no, this is not going to go in. And then I kind of got a bit nervous. I thought, I'm going to have to shunt again, and it's my last shunt. I've got to make it a good one. So basically, I took the trailer forward, but I took it forward all the way to the acorns. So basically, went right to the top of the yard, where I could then see both of both cones in my mirrors for where the bay is. And I basically did a really slow reverse maneuver in a straight line to get into the bay. So yeah, basically I got it in into the bay, and it was brilliant. I was so relieved when the examiner told me that I passed the reversing maneuver. I got it in. I was thrilled because that was the hardest part. I couldn't figure out how to kind of like sort it out. Anyway, then went on and moved to the coupling and uncoupling. That was dead easy. I didn't struggle with that whatsoever. Apart from the airlines, I struggled to get the airlines again, and I was getting a bit nervous, like because the examiner was stood behind me, and they didn't say anything. I was struggling with these airlines. I was trying to explain to her that. Yeah, I was struggling with these airlines in the training. Couldn't get it on. Trying to make her aware that I wasn't just stood there taking a nap or anything. it took me a good few minutes to get these bloody airlines on. Anyway, finally managed to get them on. Absolutely knackered getting these airlines on because I was nervous, sweating. Um, yeah, got the airlines on. Made a bit of a joke of the fact that I couldn't get them on, and then carried on with the procedure. And she told me that we, passed the entire manoeuvres, the reversing and the coupling and uncoupling. So yeah, happy days. Thank God that's over. Feeling my shoulder right now. So yeah, so that was day three, all done and dusted with. Tomorrow, tomorrow's day four. Will tells me that I'll be driving the class one outside on the road tomorrow. So that'll be interesting. A bit nervous about that because it's a huge bloody trailer. Anyway, it looks huge anyway. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be doing one-to-one session with Paul, and I've been doing. I'll be basically going around Kirkham again. I think driving in that area all day tomorrow. So it should be a pretty knackering day if day two is to anything to go by. Because driving the class two around Kirkham, that was tiring as well on the arms and shoulders, doing them big steering maneuvers. So yeah, tomorrow should be pretty much the same. So yeah, catch you guys tomorrow. We'll leave it at that. Good morning once again, YouTube. Today we are on day four of five for my HGV practical training. Day one was CBC. Day two was driving the class two vehicle. Day three was reversing maneuvers and coupling and uncoupling maneuvers. And today, it doesn't say what we're doing. I think we're driving. Yes, Will said yesterday that today we are basically driving the class one on the road, and we're doing that all day today. So my instructor is Julian this time, and that's all I've got information wise. So yeah, today nervous. We drove the class two vehicle on day two of training, and I had issues with the brakes. Now we're in the class one. Um, yeah, brakes again. It shouldn't be too much of a problem because Will said yesterday that the brakes in the class one vehicle that I drove on day one um, weren't the best. So the class two vehicle on Monday wasn't the best vehicle they've got. The class one that I'll be using today apparently is a newer and better vehicle, so the brakes shouldn't be too much of an issue. But I'm rather worried about the size of the vehicle. Never have I driven anything that big. I saw the class one vehicles on the yard yesterday, and yeah, they looked huge. Um, so yeah, I'm a bit nervous about that. So we'll see how things go. Yeah, I'll give you guys an update at the end of the day. So see you again. See you then. Hello, welcome back. So today we have just finished day four of the HGV training, and today was all about driving the Class One vehicle. So we took that out today, drove it all over Kirkham again, just like day two where I was driving the Class Two vehicle. So just to get to get to use that same kind of roads when I actually do my test tomorrow. So we're just getting used to the vehicle size, the the kind of maneuverability of it, um, and just driving around Kirkham just to get kind of used to that stuff. So yeah, it was a long day today. Conditions weren't the best. It's been raining all day. It's a bit windy as well. Apparently there's a storm coming as well, so that's not going to be good for my test, which is tomorrow. So yeah, drove all around Kirkham and surrounding areas. Um, Paul on Monday was basically saying, um, always check your mirrors, check your mirrors, check your mirrors, check your mirrors all the time. Today, with the Julian, his technique was a bit different. He said basically, um, do your mirror checks when there's nothing going on around you. You don't just check them all the time, because Paul said to me, you need to be checking your mirrors like every 7 seconds or something. Whereas Julian today said, if there's nothing going on around you and you're on a long stretch of road, or there's no hazards or anything, yeah, do your mirror checks, have a look around, and that's fine. But when you're at like, let's say a roundabout, you come into a roundabout, obviously way before you get to roundabout, have a look at your mirrors, just to kind of get your surroundings or your bearings. But when you're at the actual roundabout, you should be fully concentrated on what's in front of you, that 180-degree perspective. You should be looking in your side, your two wing mirrors, seeing what's behind you, because everything should be in front of you. That's the thing you need to deal with. Um, so yeah, we kind of did that for quite a while, um, and oh yeah, there was a bit where we kind of he told me to pull up uh, to a curb, and then we did setting off maneuvers. So we pull up and then set off, and I did that and checked my mirrors, pulled off, and then he goes, "No, pull up again." All right, okay, so I pulled up, and then he kind of like says to me, um, "Are you a dick?" It's like, "What?" He goes, "Are you a dick?" Go. I'm like thinking, why is he swearing at me? What the hell have I done? Why is he calling me a dick? And I go, no. And he goes, when you're doing the pulling off maneuver from the curb, remember Tom, Dick, and Harry. Like, okay, still don't get why he calling me a dick, but you know. And he goes, you're always forgetting Dick. Don't forget Dick. So he goes, look for Tom. Tom is your near side mirror. So look at Tom. And then Dick is over your shoulder, in your blind spot. So you'll have to look over, and don't forget Dick. And Harry is your driver's side, the driver's side wing mirror. So make sure don't forget Dick. So yeah, when you're pulling away into traffic, remember Tom, Dick, and Harry. So anyway, I did that a few times, and he kept on forgetting he thinks I wasn't making a proper check to look for the blind spot over the shoulder. He goes, "Stop being a dick. Look over your shoulder properly, for the blind spot." So that kind of stuck in my head. That was quite entertaining. Why is he calling me a dick? Anyway, so yeah, all day, just around Kirkham today, I think it was. Um, yeah, kind of. It was hard actually. It's tiring steering all that time. Sat in the cab. It was 6 hours, I think it was 7 hours. Anyway, tomorrow is tomorrow's my test. Um, Kind of nervous about that. I got early start tomorrow, so I'm a bit early. I'm gonna be in a bit early, so start at 7. Um, Usually we've been starting 8 o'clock all week, but tomorrow is a 7 o'clock start, so we just get a bit extra time before the actual test. The test itself is at yeah, it's at 1 o'clock. So I've got between 7 and 1 to get some more practice in, which is basically quite a lot of time, isn't it? So we'll fine tune whatever needs fine tuning, and then have some lunch, and then go to the test center. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully, it'll be good news. So yeah, catch you guys tomorrow. Fingers crossed. So today, um, just giving my test. Started early today because of the test that I had to give. Um, we started a bit earlier, so we started at 7. Um, got the got the trailer um, fueled up and headed off to Kirkham. Today was it was awful weather today. Um, it's been actually lashing it down really hard. Kind of yeah, conditions weren't brilliant. It's been really windy today, so um, I think we had gusts of about 40 or 50 miles an hour over towards the Blackpool area, Kirk and Blackpool. Kind of made that's not kind of what you need when you're doing your class one test today. Um, so yeah, the trailer was moving about a bit. Anyways, um, drove over to Kirkham, did more driving basically. Um, I was trying to kind of pay attention to what we kind of learned yesterday. Um, Apparently, I was struggling. Well, not struggling, but well, yeah, I was struggling with how to take roundabouts. Apparently, I was approaching roundabouts too quickly. I wasn't slowing down enough. And then whilst I was at the roundabout, I was rushing because I hadn't slowed down enough. I was then rushing the turns. Um, so he basically Julian said, slow down well in advance of the roundabout, and then you got more time uh, at the roundabout to make your little maneuvers, look at your mirrors, and do the whole entire thing safely. But I thought I was kind of like, okay, I was approaching the roundabouts just like I would approach the roundabouts in the Asda van. But apparently I was going too fast anyway. So I slowed it down for him today, like proper slowed it down. And yes, it did help. I think it was advantageous to slow it down. But then I think I was doing the same thing um, when I was doing it a bit quicker for him anyway. He said it was fine. Um, Driving slower today. Obviously, the conditions didn't help. So yeah, we just drove around, um, and then just before, well, yeah, had lunch around 12ish. Had a bit of a rest. Drove to the test centre, had my lunch there. Just took a break, just kind of like get the fatigue out because driving for I think it was about 5 hours, I think, straight from 7 o'clock to lunch. So I needed a bit of a break just to kind of like set my mind to actually doing the test. So 1 o'clock came, test time. Um, yeah, so the examiner just basically asked me a few questions about um, operating some of the stuff in the cab, and then off we went. Uh, the actual test wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Um, we drove for about God knows about 30 or 40 minutes. I think it wasn't too long actually. Um, I thought it was going to be an hour and a half, maybe drive, maybe at least an hour. But I don't think I drove more than 40 minutes. Um, and it was all easy routes, main roads, A roads, and then back to the test center. It was dead easy. So yeah, and thankfully, um, had a break in the weather as well. Um, so 7 o'clock in the morning, it was actually it was raining hard over here in Burnley, and then we drove over to the Kirkham area, and it was absolutely lashing it down for hours, and it was really windy. And then come around, I think it was about halfway through my lunch, so about half 12ish, 12 o'clock. The weather kind of cleared up, It stopped raining, thankfully, but it was still windy though. Gusts were still getting up to about 40, 50 miles an hour. So it was windy but dry. I said dry. It wasn't raining. The roads were still wet. Um, so yeah, I had a reprieve with the rain during my test. So did the test and came back to the test centre, and the examiner basically said I passed. So first time, absolutely thrilled that I passed first time. Um, with Julian saying that I was driving too fast to the roundabouts, I was kind of concerned about not not messing up there. Uh, Driving wise, I was fine. I was a bit worried about having control of the trailer in the winds, but yeah, everything went fine. The test was dead easy. Stuck to the main roads. We didn't go through any of the little tiny villages or stuff like that because some of the turns in the villages were really tight. Had to put proper full steering lock on um, to get trailer around these kind of mini roundabouts and sharp turns in the towns and villages. But thankfully, we stayed on to the main roads and the A roads. Didn't do anything kind of drastic. So yeah, passed. And then Julie basically drove us back from the test centre. That was it. So yeah, got back to the bay, to their yard, and got a little goodie bag um, as a little gift of passing. So I'll show you that now in a second. Just one. So I've got my little goodie bag here, and it says here on there, "Well done, Moz." That's me. So what's in here? Let's do a bit of a box unveiling. The most important thing that's in here is Yoki. So yeah, got a Yoki. What's this? Oh, this will be useful. Driver's hours. There's a leaflet on about driver's hours. Oh, yeah, how to. That's the driver's hours. All different combinations of not going over your driving limits, your working limits. It's a useful key on how to use a tachograph. So I'll read that later on. What else have we got in here? What's in here? Got a little box. Oh, it's a keyring. A keyring from bench show training. That's nice. And a complimentary pen from bench show. I'll be sure to keep that in my cab when I get a job. Air freshener. What else have we got? Coaster. What's in here? Let's have a look. It's a mug. Bend your training mug. I'll be living in the cab when I get a job. So yeah, all in all, a fantastic day. So yeah, what do we do now? Look for a job, I suppose. It's going to be a bit hard finding a job right now because it's a few days before Christmas. So yeah, have a few days rest. Come back just before. I'm not sure when these haulage companies what they work over Christmas time. I'll have to go and have a look. But yeah, the next video will probably be me finding a job, I think, or trying to find a job. So yeah, catch you guys in the next video. So yeah, cheers for watching.